Good morning and welcome. My name is tlewis and I serve as the Director of Membership and Engagement here at Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are so happy you're joining us this morning and hope that you'll come again. If you are new to our community, we would love to get to know you and keep you informed in all the many ways you can participate. Please fill out our visitor form on our website at unitytemple.org or stop by the virtual welcome table before service starting at 9:30 on Sunday mornings. You may email me at tlewis@unitytemple.org for more information about how to participate. I look forward to meeting you and hope to see you at coffee hour.
Good morning, Unitarian Universalists and friends. My name is Rich Picorni, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm delighted to welcome you to our service this morning. Whether you are new to Unity Temple or attend regularly, please join us at our coffee hour afterwards so that you can connect with others. At Unity Temple, our values are connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to welcome all, inspire compassion, nurture wonder, and serve community. You can learn more about us and all that we do on our website, unitytemple.org. Regarding our 7 principles, the third one is acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Lastly, I want to emphasize that our annual meeting is coming up on Sunday, December 13th. We are holding several pre-meeting sessions so that you have the opportunity to consider the important issues we'll vote on at that meeting. Finances and budget, update on reopening our buildings, and more. Please watch your email announcements for dates and times. Thank you. May you find hope, encouragement, and meaning in today's service, and carry these with you throughout your week.
Hi, we're the Baker family. I'm Melissa.
I'm Nick.
I'm Stein. I like to run jump.
Who is this?
Louisa.
What does she like?
I'm playing peekaboo and she laughs while we play it.
We invite you to light your chalice along with us. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open minds, the loving hearts, and the helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
I invite you to breathe deeply and center down. It has been 8 months since we closed our buildings to public worship. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted our congregational life enormously. And yet strong participation continues with our online offerings, both on Sundays and throughout the week. In our various committees and ministry teams, and in response to our annual fund drive. These signal a very healthy community in a time when there is so much healing to do. Now that the pandemic is spreading again at an alarming rate, and American hospitals are filling up, our responsible leaders call us to sequester and take precautions to prevent further spread. These 8 months have not only impacted our congregational life, so many of you have been directly impacted. Lost loved ones, lost employment or income, lost physical connection, or even your own health. So many of us have been obliged to create a new lifestyle, to set up remote learning for our children, to cancel all sorts of activities and gatherings, and to gather with people only online or outdoors. With a vaccine arising on the horizon, it's clear this pandemic isn't forever. Your leaders here at Unity Temple anticipate that we will be returning here in June. But even so, we have so much to still cope with. This morning we hear from 4 of you and Reverend Emily 5 unique perspectives on how traumatic and challenging these months have been and how we are coping. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life journey, you are welcome here. May we open our hearts, our minds, our souls as we gather for worship on this glorious day.
Please join with us in the words of our call. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity and fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine, thus to the covenant with each other and with God.
Please join me in singing Just as Long as I Have Breath on page 6 in the Gray Hymn.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
So I was looking at the calendar, and it has now been 8 whole months that our lives changed and we started staying at home or sheltering in place, whatever you call it. 8 whole months. And I got to thinking about what a long time that is. I mean, a lot of us have had birthdays. I had a birthday. Some of us finished one grade and started another. Some of us are going to different schools than we used to. Some people we love have been born in this time, and some people whom we love have died. It was still cold and wintry in March when things shut down, and since then it got warm, and we went through spring and summer, and now it is heading towards cold and wintry again. 8 whole months. I understand how very important it is to make sure that we stay at home as much as possible and wear masks when we are with people outside of our family or a small group of people beyond our family. I understand all those things that science and doctors have told us about keeping safe. And really, I've discovered that it's all pretty easy to do. I mean, at first it felt strange to wear a mask, but now it seems pretty normal. One thing that I have noticed is that it's not always easy to recognize people when they are wearing a mask. Have you noticed this? Would you recognize me with my mask on? Anyway, I understand why we are doing what we are doing with my head, but still, sometimes my heart is sad. Sometimes I think about all the things that I miss. I have to travel to see my parents and my sister, and I can't do that now. I haven't seen them in a long time. I miss going to restaurants. One of the things that I miss most of all is Sunday mornings at Unity Temple. I miss sharing stories with you and getting to hear your thoughts and us laughing and singing and talking together. I miss that very, very much. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad about what is happening, I try and think about the things that I appreciate. I feel grateful for all the healthcare workers that are helping people who are sick with COVID. I feel grateful for the scientists who are working hard on developing a vaccine. And I think of things in my daily life that I'm grateful for. I like that I can wear jeans every single day. Even if I'm working, really, you only see the top of me because I'm on Zoom or on the camera, so I can wear jeans all the time. I asked my wife what she liked about being in this situation, and she said that she likes having our son Paul around during the day. He's doing school all remotely, like I know many of you are doing too. I asked Paul, who is 9 3/4, what he has enjoyed about this time, and he said that he likes having a lot of more screen time. He really likes technology and playing video games. I asked our dog what he likes, and he said he likes that he is almost never home alone. I wonder what things that you like about this time. I bet you can think of a few things at least. It might be fun to think of those things, especially if there's a time when you are feeling sad about having to miss something. We've been doing this for 8 whole months, and it's not clear how much longer we will have to do this. I wish we knew, but we don't. But I do know that we can and we will make it to the end of the pandemic, and we can do it together, being grateful for all kinds of things.
My name is Jay Cohen. I'm one of your pastoral associates. This is the time in our service where we hold one another in our hearts and offer prayers for the people. If you have some great news or something you're celebrating, we would love to share in that joy with you. If you have a concern or a struggle or are dealing with something significant, we are also here to share that with you as well. If you would like for it to be mentioned in the video itself, please contact the pastoral associates or one of the ministers during the week. Otherwise, if you have someone you're holding in your heart right now, feel free to go ahead and put it into the live chat. Please hold Leslie Benz in your hearts this week as she recovers from 2 unexpected surgeries. Please hold Bill Crozier and Marge Entenman in your hearts. On Tuesday, Bill was hospitalized for a very serious infection, and Marge is seeking to support him from outside of the hospital. We pray for all those who are ill with COVID-19 and that greater safety precautions will be taken by everyone as we enter the colder months and the virus is spreading more quickly. Locally, the following people were reported killed during the days between November 6th and November 12th. Keith Griggs, 32. Uspala Arbelo, 36. Fabian Baines, 46. Larry Beckton, 24. Ryan Boast, 20. Marvin Bradley Jr., 27. Jim Brown, 25. Tremaine Crichton, 22. Neil Ellis, 26. Tristina Gray, 30. Lavelle Mathis, 25. D'Angelo Mills, 28. Kevin Mitchell, 20. David Mullen, 44. Richard Powell, 27. Jerome Smith, 29. Danielle Zatina, 20. May we keep their families and others touched by violence in our hearts. May we also pray for the perpetrators and the impact of the violence on their lives. Please know that the pastoral associates are always here for you, and you can contact us anytime. And also, if you're looking at the church's information or the e-beacon that comes out on Friday, there are many ways to get involved and to help each other through the holiday season. And Unity Temple is offering a lot of open programs right now. So please connect with each other, help each other. That's how we're getting through these difficult times.
Please join me for a moment of prayer and reflection. Spirit of love and light, It has been 8 months since our lives were rearranged. There has been fear. Fear of getting ill, of dying, of losing jobs, of not knowing where the next paycheck will be coming from. The fears have been many, made more acute by the unknown. We give thanks to you, even so, O Spirit of hope, for holding us in the light of love, in the light of our Unitarian Universalist community. We ask that you continue to hold us, even in the fear. It has been 8 months since our lives were rearranged. There has been grief for the loved ones who we have lost, for those who we did not know and yet lost, for the loss of normalcy, for the removal of a sense of safety, for the loss of our children's childhoods. The grief has been overwhelming, made worse by the loss of presence and touch, the inability together to mourn. Yet we are grateful for the companionship of the Spirit of love felt through the warm summer sun, through the changing of seasons, and for each other. We ask for love's presence as we continue this journey. It has been 8 months since our lives were rearranged. There has been happiness. For spending more time together as a family, for spending time alone, for technology that keeps us together, for outdoor walks, for neighbors and church community that comes together. The happiness is present even when we cannot grasp it. It is around us even when we cannot see it. We give our gratitude for the spirit of life, which brings us joy in all the small and big ways. The spirit that reminds us to look all around, to dig deep within ourselves, and to pull out our resilience, that we might find a bright spot in each day or week or month. The spirit that keeps us going when we just don't think we can move on. It has been 8 months since life was rearranged. There has been possibility to imagine new ways of doing things, for creativity to flourish, for love to make its presence known, to come together as humans. Spirit of life and love and light abundant, this is not the end, but the beginning. Out of the chaos comes rebirth, new life, and all new things. May we embrace the possibilities that this pandemic has brought us, as well as the lessons that we have learned, that we might see and live into the bright future of tomorrow. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Ken Hooker. When Alan asked me if I'd be willing to prepare a faith testimonial for this service, I hesitated and then said no. I told him that as much as I recognize and appreciate all the efforts people have made over the last 7 months, I'm feeling less connection to UTUUC than at any time since I joined the congregation in 1989. I wasn't sure that sharing those feelings would be helpful to anyone. Alan insisted he wasn't asking me to say anything other than how I've really been feeling, and that listeners would benefit from hearing what others of us have struggled with. He can be pretty persuasive when he wants to be, so here goes. If you know me, you may know that both my parents died within 10 days of each other back in April. At the end of 2019, Dad moved into the nursing home where my mother had been living for the previous 2 years. She contracted COVID-19 and died on April 16th. Dad was moved into isolation and died April 26th without being tested. We'd been unable to visit since the facility locked down on March 10th, and we couldn't be with either of them in their final days. Nor could we gather with family and friends to mourn and celebrate their long, loving lives. At the time, it seemed incredible that there were already some 30,000 other families in the U.S. alone who were grieving under similar circumstances. It was unimaginable that by November, there would be 200,000 more. The cards, emails, and other expressions of support from the UT community were heartfelt and welcome, but were no substitute for the warm hugs and smiles we'd have received if we'd all been face to face. The night my mom died, we had a Zoom call with my siblings, our kids, nieces, and nephews around the country. That family Zoom call has become a weekly ritual for those of us available and so inclined on Thursday nights. In fact, the Zoom call has become our chief form of social interaction since the pandemic began. My men's group, our book groups, our game night group, and my wife's French classes have all been meeting only via Zoom, save for a handful of socially distanced outdoor sessions during the warmer months. Here again, Zoom is better than total isolation, but it's a poor replacement for actual human contact. Even our UT choir has been meeting only virtually, which has been a profound loss for all of us. In a faith testimonial several years ago, I explained how singing in the choir and the UT singers and with others in worship services really is my spiritual connection with the congregation. Studying the music, refining pieces in rehearsal, following Marty as one with the other singers, and eliciting an emotional response in our listeners. These are all key parts of my spiritual practice, and I can't wait for the day when I can unmute myself. YouTube worship beats none at all, and some services have been quite moving. What I miss, though, are the brief conversations, the familiar faces in the pews, the spontaneous emotions experienced and shared at the temple. Those are things the chat function just can't provide. I am managing to stay in touch with some good friends, but I miss casual talks with acquaintances and strangers. I miss going to restaurants and theaters and museums as well as to church. I want to travel everywhere and don't know when or if that will ever be possible. I hate feeling like every encounter with another person is a potential danger. I hate feeling the inclination to judge the safety precautions that those around me either are or aren't taking. I dread the increasing isolation that's bound to come with the colder weather. This has all been hard, and yet I also know that I have it relatively easy. Linda and I haven't been sick, and neither have other family members. We're financially secure and in no danger of losing our home or livelihood. We're not trying to perform demanding jobs or homeschool our kids, or both. My heart goes out to those of you who are. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves. I hope we're able to be together soon.
Good morning.
My name is Carol DiMatteo, and I've been a member of Unity Temple since 1971. I'm honored to share my experiences and insights of my life as a person living alone, getting through this quarantine, isolation, social and political chaos, and COVID-19. I needed to create a new model for living. My experiences of life have gone from high-speed action drama to slow-motion documentary. I am so blessed to be born an extrovert and an optimist. My first response was to think, what can I do? That quickly followed by a feeling of being overwhelmed with the enormity of this worldwide pandemic. Quarantining and masking was a given. I am embracing the gift of increased awareness by deep breathing and a deepening appreciation for each moment. I am aware of the blessings of having a body that is able: food, shelter, clothing, coffee, and toilet paper. My basic needs are covered. Next was feeding my spirit. I had a rainbow banner, which I cut into strips and hung from my balcony with the daily affirmation, which I sent out to my family, friends, and community. I did this every day for a month. This tangible act of creating something beautiful that I could see every day gave me joy. The feeling of being overwhelmed continued to impact my every moment, both awake and in my dreams. I decided to empty my life of all responsibilities. I resigned from the Pastoral Associates and my condo board. I stopped facilitating support and meditation groups. This created a feeling of deep relief. I am steadied and grounded by savoring and relishing my daily routines of self-care, bathing, dressing, exercise, and bed making. While drinking coffee, I observe from my window the weather, the sky, the trees, the birds, and the animals, and I listen to relaxing music. I text my loved ones, sending unconditional love to all. I talk on the phone with my intimate companion, which connects me to my personal woman self. I prepare and eat delicious meals that I eat at a beautifully designed table setting. I read poetry, books, and inspirational texts on Facebook. I began walking 2 to 3 miles every day, both alone and with friends, both two-leggeds and four-leggeds, through Chicago, through beautiful Oak Park and the forest preserves. I notice all the beauty of nature that is around me. When I walk alone, I chant and listen to the messages that each chant brings. One of the chants from a Tuesday night meditation group plays through my mind often. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscle and bone. Relax, relax, relax. I also return to daily journaling, recording my thoughts, feelings, fears, and hopes. This is an ongoing record of my physical, mental, and spiritual journey. I practice personal meditation, which creates calm and opens me to new insights. My extrovert self has gone on sabbatical, giving me the opportunity to discover the gifts of my shadow side, the introvert. And using the Native American medicine wheel as a guide, I use West energy of going within and listening to my inner voice. I now have time to listen to that wee small voice of my quiet self. She has shared much wisdom that has been gathering within from all my varied life experiences. I am a human being, not a human doing. South Energy teaches me to love what is and who I am, trusting that all will be well. Cocopelli, the trickster, teaches me that life's too mysterious. Don't take it serious. I also spend a lot of time in deep gratitude for love, for my good health and my independence. Gratitude for my dear family, Robin, Doug, Luna, Lucas, and Jay. For the rest of my friends, for my privileged life, for laughter, for my UU faith that encourages growth and search for meaning, for technology which connects me to my living by heart, my meditation, and my soul connections groups, and for the joy of being alive in this life. Blessed be. Namaste.
Good morning, Unity Temple. My name is Dr. Elias Ortega, and I serve as president of Meadville Lombard Theological School. Today, it is my pleasure to share with you a few words about how this pandemic has impacted me and Mandy as parents of two middle-aged children, Luna and Lucian. I'm going to start by saying that for us, the year 2019 and early 2020 marked our move from the East Coast into the Midwest. This was a year for us to uproot our family and start learning to live in a new community, in a new space, to make a home in a different state with new friends and new families. We were also in that process of grieving what we have left in our old state in New Jersey, grieving the relationships that we have to now maintain at a distance. It was helpful to us to use technology to maintain connected to our friends. So then when March came around, March 2020, and we have to move into isolation for safety of ourselves and others, those feelings of being isolated and out of community for us deepen a little more. It was also a time then for us in which we learn how to dig deeper into those relationships, both the new bonds that we were forging here in the Oak Park community, in Unity Temple, and with my work community, but also with our friends in New Jersey and other parts of the world. One of the biggest challenge, I must say, was learning to put aside that mirage of things are going to be normal and things are okay, but have the deep conversations about how our world was changing. To have the conversation of how do we grieve our loved ones who may die from the distance. To understand that our day-to-day activities and events were going to be shifted. Perhaps in that moment, the biggest challenge was to learn to deal both with the monotony of being in the same space in our home for hours and hours on end, knowing that so much more was going out in the world. For us, and particularly for me as an extrovert, it was very challenging to know that I cannot be outside, I cannot enjoy the same walks with safety, I cannot enjoy the company of others that bring me energy and joy and help me just be more fully myself. And instead, learn for our safety to be more confined to the surroundings of our home. As a family, it was also important for us to learn how to both love each other, but stay in love with each other in these particular times. I think the days, as the days were piling on and we're living into these times, right, of pandemic and extended time, we have to learn how to be in new relationship, to extend our family covenant in ways that we learn to live in the same home 24 hours a day. We're giving us the space to grieve, giving us a space to share our joy, to move in certain ways, to be in particular ways, respecting also those who are in our home. A challenge on pandemic times for us as a family has been to inculcate the sense that we are still in deep community with others, even if we do not see them face to face. It has been important for us as a family to also deepen our spiritual commitments to not only stay whole, but stay hopeful given the times. As all of us, we are yearning for the time in which we can be outside, enjoying the company of others freely. But we understand that this is a moment that calls for deep caution, in which our safety and the safety of others is a priority. Those are conversations that we have at home, and I hope that you're also having them. Be well.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Tom McCann, and I have been coming to Unity Temple for the last couple of years, and not quite a member yet, but Tina and I are working on that. It's really nice to be here, and I had the pleasure of having Reverend Alan Taylor ask me to speak a little bit about COVID and my experience with that. Well, as a registered nurse, I have been through quite a few things with it. I've known residents, patients that I worked with that have died, and now at the new facility I'm at, there's been a couple of staff members that have passed away. So this is a very serious thing, despite what we hear from our leaders. Luckily, is not our leader anymore. So anyway, what I wanted to say was, when I first found out, I really can't tell you how or where I got it from. So that's the part that's a little scary. But I got mine in March, and it was a little, at the time, not a lot of people seemed to know a lot about it. I remember going into work, and I had a temp of 101.6. They had sent me home, and it was just like it came on automatic, like I all of a sudden had a temperature. So I went home and spent the next 2 weeks straight with a temp no less than 100, and as high as 103.6. And during that time, my temp went up to 103.6, and I was informed by the hospital that if it goes over 104 and you're having trouble breathing, then come see us. So so I just generally just took meds that would help, like Tylenol and ibuprofen, and it worked fine. It got me through it after the 2 weeks, but it took another 4 weeks for me to get my strength back. Now, I haven't, since that time, I haven't had any problems. I have the luxury of getting tested every week where I work, and I've been coming up negative. But where I'm at now, I'm very happy with, because they have color-coded. They have a little bit more knowledge of what's going on with COVID, and I'm very happy with what they're doing, because we're hearing these numbers just go so high. It would be easy for me to get angry at President Trump for the things that he had mentioned, and I would like to, a part of being a universalist is having an open mind, and that's the whole idea of what has been so refreshing lately, is to hear from Joe Biden say that we need to try to work together. Despite everything that's been said and the very negative things that have come about, we don't need to live like, I don't need to be caught up in that. But because of that irresponsibility, I've known far too many people that have died from this thing. And, so I ask you guys to be very safe, be very careful with this, because this is something that is going around, and it's getting serious. Watch for the symptoms, because they are same as a flu. The only thing is, with a flu, you still have taste. So again, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today, and I hope someone at least will understand this seriousness of this. So thank you, and have a wonderful day.
I invite you to take a deep breath and just hold in your heart the stories shared today, as well as other stories, for there are so many among us of people coping with this challenging time. And so many of us want to be of support to people who are in distress. This week, our offering will be given to the Abundance Fund of our congregation here at Unity Temple. If you live with financial abundance, you have already been invited to give generously to support this congregation. And this morning, I invite you to give to give a donation to support those among us who are in financial distress. If you are one who is in financial distress, I encourage you to be in touch with me, with Reverend Emily, with Mandy, or with a pastoral associate. For we are here as a congregation with a very clear aspiration that we will care for you and we will call upon you to care for others. You can give at unitytemple.org, send a check to Unity Temple with Abundance Fund in the memo line, or you can use your phone to scan the QR code and follow the instructions there. May what you give bring you joy.
Please join me in singing Comfort Me. It is hymn number 1002 in the Teal hymnal. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
It is good to come together. As the light lessens and night engulfs more of our days, may we not fear the darkness, but recognize it as a place of possibility, a place of healing. Our lives are ultimately not defined by the losses we incur, but are shaped by how we learn to cope with them. This learning is so often done in community, in relationship with others. Amidst our many and varied losses, we have gained greater perspective on what's important. Through these difficult times, we are cultivating resilience and given the opportunity to look more honestly at ourselves and the wider world. In the weeks and the months to come, hold on to all that you cherish. Turn inward and enlarge your heart for peace and love. While we cannot bring our hands together. We can bring together our hearts, even when geographically distant. This time is hard, and this time is precious. I am holding you in my heart. I don't say it much, but I think of you all with love. And I invite you, encourage you to open your hearts ever more expansively, especially to your pain and your brokenness, so that you can more expansively open your heart to peace and love and to care. May we bless one another and bless our broken world through our shared life together. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you.